Hey friend, Roger Christopherson here again with another first listen review. It's the end of the year, so there's not a whole lot of stuff coming out, but Frontiers decided they were going to release a whole bunch of stuff, I guess, this week. If those of you out there don't know what Frontiers is, it's a record label based out of Italy. They kind of specialize in the melodic rock. Have a lot of bands from 80s and 90s that they've signed to the roster, or just artists in general from that era, and they put a lot of stuff together, projects together, people from different bands. And this one is no different. This one is even though it's a solo album, it's Tommy DeCarlo. The name of the album is Dancing In The Moonlight. It's a project, I guess, of Frontiers. A lot of these, the problem I have with Frontiers is that they have a singer, songwriter, artist. He plays keyboards, bass, produces, if I'd say that already, by the name of Alessandro Del Vecchio. He's involved in a lot of stuff that's on this record label. And to me, everything that he is involved with has a very sameness. Obviously, it's because he's involved with everything, but even though it's different artists, doing all these projects, they end up sounding a lot like the same artists. And that's kind of the same road this album goes down, unfortunately. He, produces, writes. He's only credited with playing bass on this one, but got some other musicians I'm not familiar with on this one. Guitarist Martin Jepson Anderson. The drummer is Nicholas Papapico, I don't know. And American guitarist David Julian. And there's a guest solo on here by August Zadra, who has also done some other work on the Frontiers label. And basically it's just 12 songs that's a project. And it's not a whole lot more I could say about this, which is unfortunate, because if you don't know who Tommy DeCarlo is, he's currently still is the lead singer of Boston. Even though Boston isn't doing a whole lot these days. Joined back in 2007. Just kind of a cool story. I mean, he was a guy working at Home Depot, I believe. He was working there somehow. I don't remember if it was YouTube or something. I could be one of those type of stores. I actually don't remember. But he was discovered by Tom Schultz, or Schultz, however you pronounce his name, the mastermind behind Boston. And was asked to join the band. And, so he's been with them ever since. He recorded a few songs on their last, Boston's last release there. And, unfortunately, Boston's last two albums have not been, in my opinion, very good. They were just huge disappointments, which is mind-boggling because, what does the first Boston album have, a record or something for selling the most records of his debut or something like that? I can't remember what it was. A huge album anyway. And Tom Schultz fought the record company and didn't release anything for years until Third Stage came out, and then that was a pretty huge album. When I was really getting into music, that album was huge. And then Walk On was a pretty good album, and then after that, I don't know what happened. It was I don't know. I don't want to go say too much about them, but they're not good. It's funny because my first experience with Boston was I was in elementary school, or just going from elementary school to junior high, and I won a bunch of 45s, and one of the 45s was the single for Don't Look Back, and I just would play that over and over and over and over, and I had that actually before I had their debut album. So I've known about Boston forever, and I just fell in love with their sound. And so anyway, it's a review about Boston, but that's kind of where he came to be known, so that's kind of why I was mentioning all that. So on these songs, I guess the production's good. Don't get me wrong, the production's good. It's very, I don't know how to describe it. The songs they're very overly produced. It's everything's really compressed. Everything is very tight and clear. You can hear everything very well. Great vocal harmonies. His voice is, crystal clear. He sings really good on it. The problem is that it leaves it, to me, sounding very lifeless. To me, a producer's like job is to like make the songs come alive, make the choruses stand out, add these little things here and there that bring the songs to life. And it's like the song starts out at one, level, and it stays that exact same way. I don't even mean just volume, I mean like energy, dynamics, everything. It just stays that way the whole song, and then that's it. Aside from one song, there was one song on here, it was the ballad, In the Hands of Faith, which I thought was really good. That one had some dynamics, but in general, that's what ballads tend to do. They gradually build. So, I mean, just in general, just the way that ballads are designed, that's what they're designed to do. So, at least it worked on that one. I did notice a lot with his vocals. He follows a lot of, especially like the vocal lines on third stage. Brad Delp uses a lot of descending vocal melodies when he ends. And a lot of people tend to go up a lot of the time, and he follows that kind of same singing pattern. So I don't know if he's picked that up from singing in Boston all these years, or if that's something he just naturally did. But it did remind me a lot of Boston singing melodies when he did that. So that was kind of cool. It had that familiarity to it. Now, it's a little side note. Tommy DeCarlo also has a band called DeCarlo with his son that they formed back in like 2012. His son plays guitar, and they released an album 2 years ago. I think it was in 20, called what was it called? Lightning Strikes Twice, I think is what it was called. I actually had it written down. I don't remember, but I have it. I've listened to it. I only gave it a couple listens when it first came out, but one thing I did remember about it is that it was rocking. It was upbeat. And I enjoyed listening. I had that one in my CD player for a while. Unfortunately, I tend to listen to old stuff and then put it away, and then it takes me years to get them back out again. So it's kind of what I did with that one. And but I do remember enjoying that one quite a bit. And if it stays in my CD player for more than a few days, then it's for me, that's good. But so that one was cool, and it was unique, and it sounded like him separate from Boston. It sounded like they were trying to make this album sound like Boston, and it just didn't live up to the expectations. And the vocal melodies, Boston's known for singing like really high parts at times, very, very high parts, and there's not a whole lot of that on here. It's just a lot of low singing, which is fine. It's got a cool voice. It's spot on, but I don't know. It just left me feeling kind of flat. Didn't seem like it really went anywhere. So aside from the that one ballad, the rest of it's pretty much I'd rate it okay. I'd give this probably a 6 out of 10 just for being okay. So anyway, anybody else has heard this and they have any opinions on it, or they've heard some of the Boston later stuff, or have any cool stories they want to share down below, always feel free. And make sure you like, subscribe, share, and all that fun stuff. And we'll talk to you in the next one. See you.